God sees the whole story of your life, the whole book of your life, the beginning that you've lived and the end that you've yet to live out. And he sees all of the bits, chapters, and pages that you wish that you could tear out. And yet he even looks at those and says, I can use that. This is what I would say to the version of me that was trying to survive, because she is a very different person than who I am today. There are moments and chapters and pages of my life that I still to this day wish that I could rip and tear out, chuck into a bonfire, and never have to think about or remember again. But yet God has looked down on all those things, and I have watched the manifestation of this come to pass, where he has looked at all those pages that I wish I could tear out of the book of my life, and he has said, I can use that. If you are experiencing the fallout of your own brokenness, the brokenness of another, or simply the brokenness of existing in a fallen world right now, I want you to know that through the darkness, that God sees you. He doesn't just see the parts that you're proud of, but the parts that you wish you could tear out and forget. The decisions that you made in survival mode, in blindness, under pressure, the seasons marked by so much fear and exhaustion and confusion. Scripture tells us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and that he binds up their wounds. Just because God is silent doesn't mean that he is not close. God does not rush past the brokenhearted. He is not embarrassed by our wounds, but he is near them. There is a line from my book, Becoming God's Daughter, that says, you weren't just saved from something, you were saved for something. God doesn't stop at pulling us out of the pit of brokenness or just putting out the initial fire of survival mode. He is a redeemer with a capital R, which means he goes into broken places that most people won't touch, and he brings forth fruit from them, meaning and glory out of what looks like it is in ruin. What feels like survival to you right now is not invisible when it's placed in his hands. But here's the hard truth: you won't make it striving alone. There is so much more beyond the horizon of surrender than there ever was in control. One of the hardest truths of my life that I have learned is that there is more beyond the horizon of surrender than there ever was in control. When we stop trying to play chess with life, forcing the outcomes, when we allow God into every crevice and we stop withholding pieces of our life and our brokenness from him, when we stop operating and wallowing in the shame of the pages of our life that we wish that we could tear out, the places that we still don't understand, he can begin to do what only he can do. Scripture says that he works all things together for good, and I have seen it. And it's not just some things, and it's not just the tidy and neat parts, it's all things. When we're willing to see it, and we're willing to lay it down right where it belongs. Because see, your obedience, even when it feels small, is not just about you. It is often attached to someone else's journey in the future, far beyond what you can see in front of you right now. We are often short-sighted and can only see a few steps ahead, but God, he sees the whole picture. And he can take what this world used to wound you and make it a place where others find hope. They could be looking for you right now and you don't even know it yet. So if you're surviving right now, don't despise this season. There is more for you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. I have had the moments at 3 a.m. in the dark crying out to God, asking whether he still sees me. And I am here to tell you that you are not forgotten, and it's not the end of your story. There is glory and redemption and restoration beyond what you can see. Even the hardest and the worst things of this life, God can pluck up and bring forth fruit from. God can take the ashes of a life and bring forth beauty beyond comprehension. He is a Father who knows exactly how to bring it forth. What the devil used to break you often becomes a piece of the power of a testimony in your life when it's surrendered under the lordship of Jesus Christ. And what I have realized in my healing journey and my entrepreneurship journey and walking other people through theirs is that there is a pattern that I have seen where God takes the specific pieces of things that the devil tried to use to break people, the specific things that they have endured when they were in a survival season of life, the specific things that the brokenness of this life and this world did to them, the specific things that they struggled with, their vulnerabilities, their personal shortcomings, and he tends to use those things to do mighty things. The world often discards. God picks up the rags that the world tosses in the trash bin, and he weaves together glorious and beautiful tapestries, because the things that we do are often not just connected to us. They often have a ripple effect that goes out, and it could be one person it touches, it could be a million people. But I have watched, and God will often use very specific things that the enemy used to break people for very specific outcomes. I teach this over on Homespun Income and in the entrepreneurial part of my journey. It is often the thing that you have overcome. It is often the fire that you have walked through that is the calling and the assignment on your life. And the reason that the enemy tried to use that specific thing to break you is because you were marked in some way for that purpose. And he tried to intercept what was not his to touch, because he cannot create anything. He can only try to manipulate it, twist it, and detour it. He cannot give you your purpose. He cannot give you your assignment and calling, and no power on earth or in hell can thwart the plans and purposes of God. All he can come in and do is try to create procrastination, detours, problems, deceptions, shenanigans. So if you are in this season right now, I implore you to hold on and hold out, for you have need of endurance, because God is not in the business of just saving us from something. He is in the business of saving us for something. And my dear friend and sister in the Lord, Tia, or Blue, from the channel Journey Mirror, go check her out if you have not yet. She is a blessing upon a blessing. She was sharing my book the other day on her channel, and she mentioned that line from the book that so applies to this topic of survival mode and God using the pieces of our life, even the pieces that we wish we could forget or tear out, not only for our good, but for the good of other people. Things that have eternal value. So you might not think much of yourself. You might look at these times in your life with shame or guilt. You might be in a place where you are feeling sadness and fear. I should not even be here. When I tell you that sometimes I can't believe that even with all of the things that have gone on, that God has still found a way to use me, and he has still looked upon the pieces of my life that I wish I could tear out and said, let me use that. I can use that, because I wasn't just saved from something, I was saved for something, and so were you. And if you have not gotten to that place of surrender yet, there is something so much more for you than brokenness. There is something so much more for you than ashes. There is a God who formed you and loves you, and despite what you are feeling right now, he sees you. He is El Roy, the God who sees you. Call out to him. Let him do what only he can do. I am not the one who pulled all this off. I did not redeem all these areas of my life. I can promise you that. But he did, out of his grace and out of his abundant mercy. And I am nobody special, but I think you are. I think you're pretty special. So I hope that you enjoyed this video today. Guys, be still and know. Isn't this a cute teacup? I think I've said that before, but friends, I want to thank you for taking a moment out of your day to spend it here with me, because your time is precious. I just want to take a moment to share some of the resources I have. I do have 3 books and a couple journals that are available on Amazon. I have the Intentional Living Journal, Biblical Affirmation Journal. I have the books Becoming God's Daughter, The Lost Art of Living, Finding Our Way Back, and Redeeming Wealth, God's Blueprint for Healing Finances and Building Online Income in a Shifting World. And I also have our Lost Art of Healing program and school community. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, or you're looking to return deeper to the design of God and to heal on multiple layers through that process, I would love to have you over there. You can also check out my website and my blog, my other channel, Homespun Income, where we are learning to build brands and businesses online God's way and redeem our relationship with resources, all submitted under His Lordship. I would love to have you pop over there. And Lord willing, friends, I will see each and every one of you beautiful and precious souls right here on the next one. Bye, friends. God bless you.